Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Custom Carving and Epoxy UK. And I had finished for the day, so if you look over there on my table, my bloom is resting, that one that's hopefully going to be an orchid. My dog is also looking and the teddy bears are resting, but I've just had a package delivered and I'm really excited. I've been waiting for this one for about 3 weeks because I've got some moulds come through from IntoResin. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of their moulds on any other YouTube videos, but they are amazing. They've got like diamond moulds, they've got crystal moulds that give resin a whole new look. So I wanted to get these done as well so I can get another video out for IntoResin and these moulds in particular, because from what I've seen of them, they look amazing. They're all handmade, these particular moulds anyway, so come in a really good bag. I've also got some cat's eye powders, which I'm looking forward to playing with, because with magnets, I should be able to get some really cool effects with these, and I've never played with them yet, so really looking forward to having a play with those. I'm not going to use them with these moulds though, because I don't think it'd be right for this particular project, because from what I've seen, the less you do with these moulds, the better, because they look perfect with just clear resin from what I've seen. I am going to add something to it though, because that is just me, you know, I can't just leave something completely plain, although I think these are going to look absolutely amazing. So this one I believe is the starfish, and this one is the handmade crystal pig mould. Now these are proper moulds as well, they're not like these cheap ones from Temu. Cost a little bit more on the website, but you know what, they should last the test of time. Now there is a couple of care instructions with them as well, so you can't touch the crystal effect part with your hands inside the mould itself. Avoid using torches or flames on them, so no using flames to pop your bubbles. Place only tape in it to clean the mould, okay? So again, just use sticky tape, nothing else. Now most moulds that I use, to be fair, when you demold, there's nothing left to clean anyway, so don't wash it or use alcohol to clean it. Store the mould flat and separately in a zipper bag, which they provide conveniently. Store the mould flat and separately in that zipper bag in a cool, dry environment after use. And make sure to loosen resin finished pieces from the moulds a little bit before demolding. Check the moulds before using them, and if there's any quality issues, let them know within 3 days of receiving and they'll replace them. But really, really impressed. They've also got a share and win promotion going off at the minute, where if you share a photo or a video of any finished project, which I'm going to be doing, on any resin art fate groups, which I'm part of a few different groups on Facebook, send them a screenshot of the post and then you're entered into a monthly giveaway where 3 to 5 winners will randomly be picked each month to get free products, 50% off coupons and things like that at IntoResin. So again, sounds great, and on top of that, I've got a great promotion for you as well. So they've been very kind to offer me a discount code for anybody that wants any products on their website, and it will get you, I believe it's 20% off. So if you go onto the IntoResin website, there's loads of moulds, there's loads of cool additions, which I'm going to love experimenting with, like these cat's eye powders, different mica powders and things like that, which I haven't seen anywhere else. So get yourself on there, use the code ccukresin and you'll get 20% off. This isn't a sponsored video, and I reached out to them because I'd seen their moulds, and it's the first place where I've seen these proper handmade moulds, and I was really excited to see what results we can get, and that's why I'm doing another video today, even though I've just finished that one, because I really want to see what these look like, and I'm hoping to be amazed. So before any further, and that's why I've left my gloves off for now, I am going to put them on when I mix the resin. Let's open the first one up. And this is, I think it's the starfish crystal mould on the website. Now, as I say, some of these moulds, you can get them reasonably cheap on there. They're not Temu prices. They're around about anywhere from sort of £10 to £15 for the smaller moulds, all the way up to sort of £120 for the big moulds, and they do all sorts on there. But as I say, with my code you get 20% off anyway. So, and just look at that effect on the inside, you can just see the crystal. So I'm really looking forward to this and just seeing what they come out like. And the good thing is with this one, I don't think it's going to take a lot of resin. I think this one might take an ounce looking at it. So that's that one, and you can see that crystal effect already. And what that should do is, if you've got crystal clear resin, the sunlight will give you that spectrum of different colours, hopefully going through it. So that's the first one. The second one is the handmade crystal pig mould, and I don't have a pig mould, so I'm quite happy about that. I love animals, and I love these animal moulds, and these handmade ones from IntoResin, from what I've seen, are amazing. And I haven't seen this one, haven't seen a video on this one either, so I'm excited to see what they come out like. Now, you will notice when you get them out, some of these larger handmade moulds, they look really complex. But it's nothing to be afraid of, even if you're a beginner. What you need to remember is, in these intricate moulds like this, you can have a look in there, and you can just about see the crystal mould in there. Now, all you've got to do is really make sure when you put that resin in, you've got to open these flaps and pour it in there. You've got to squish it around. You've got to move it around to get those air bubbles out. Otherwise, you will have air bubbles in it, which is not what you want. And then when it comes to demolding, as I say, just slightly loosen it to side, and then pop it out the mould as carefully as you can. But again, I can't really see what this pig is going to look like, so I'm quite excited. Again, it's a crystal mould, so it should give us that same crystal-y effect as that. And I'm just looking at the depth of this. And I think I'll get away with 4 ounces of resin for the two. I think this one might be sort of 2.5. And I think the starfish is probably going to be 1.5. So I'm going to have a look at this. I'd say this one's more of a beginner one, because you literally pour it in, leave it to set, and then see what happens. And then this one is probably a little bit more advanced, but not too much. I can see the snout that side, and I can see a tail that side, but that's all I can see. So all you're going to have to do is prise this open as you pour your resin in. Give it a good squidge around to get those bubbles up to the surface, and try and get rid of those bubbles, okay? I am going to be using my bubble removal machine for these though, because I don't want excessive bubbles in there. And just to add a little bit of something to it, I've got this micro glitter that's come through, and I think that won't take away from the crystal effect, but it will add, hopefully, to the finished piece. So I'm going to get my gloves on, mix 4 ounces of resin, and then we're going to pour these. And hopefully, with them being slightly deeper moulds, I'm hoping I can demold these tomorrow as well and get this video out for everyone. But don't forget, have a look at IntoResin's website. I think they have some absolutely amazing moulds there, quality moulds that I haven't seen anywhere else. And they're reasonably priced, especially when you factor in, if you use my discount code ccukresin, you're going to get yourself 20% off as well. So just going to mix up the resin, and then we're going to have a play with these. If you're liking the content as well, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. It makes a big difference. And thank you to IntoResin as well for sending these moulds, and I can't wait to see the results. So just going to mix up the resin, then I'll be back. So there we go. All I've done at the minute is I've just pumped in 2 ounces of the hardener and 2 ounces of the resin with my Let's Resin 1:1 resin. And if you're new to resin, all you're looking to do is, if you see that now, it's full of streaks and you can't properly see through it. You're looking to stir it until it's crystal clear, which usually, to go from this streaky mess to crystal clear, you will have a few bubbles in there. Takes you around about 3 or 4 minutes, and you just want to do it at a steady pace like this. So I'm just going to mix it first, and then I'm going to add some of that really fine glitter. Again, I'm not sure if I should do, because glitter might get stuck in these molds, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to give it a go, because I think it'll give it a really cool effect. So there's just a little bit of a shimmer inside, as well as the shimmer that we should get on the outside from that crystal effect. But I'm really looking forward to these. As I say, I've been waiting. The downside is you normally have to wait sort of 10 to 15 days to get the molds, because they are all handmade. But I think the quality speaks for itself, and they're worth waiting for. So hopefully we're going to get a good result here. And it's the first time I've used this ultra fine sort of pinky white glitter as well, but I think it will just give it that extra bit of a sparkle, and it will hopefully add to these moulds rather than detract. So again, just make sure when you stir your resin as well, you stir the sides, you stir the bottom as well, to make sure that you're mixing it thoroughly and you don't have any unmixed resin in your MPs. And if you can see now, the streaks are pretty much gone. I've got a few bubbles in there. Not worried about that because I've got a bubble removal machine, and again, links to that are in my description if you want to get yourself one. But I highly recommend bubble removal machines, especially if we're going to be doing intricate molds like this, where the last thing you want is going to be bubbles. And I'm not sure if this glitter is going to sink or not either, which could also ruin the effect of these, but I just want to see. Personally, I don't think it will. So you can see I've mixed it there. I've got loads of bubbles in there, which I'm not concerned about. But I am going to add my glitter first before putting it in the bubble removal machine, because I know by adding the glitter, that will probably add more bubbles. And I don't want too much. I just want enough so that it's visible. So what I'm going to do is just move this to the side. And I think a level scoop is all I want, which is that. And you can see that pinky glittery glow. And that, I think for 4 ounces, that should be more than enough, because I don't want it to be completely glitter. I just want it to be in there in the mix. And as you can see, it's not too heavy, but you can just see that glitter there coming through. And I just hope it does demold from that mould. Otherwise I'll have pink glitter stuck on my mould, which I don't want. But it doesn't say on the instructions that you can't use glitter. So, and I don't normally use glitter, to be honest, but it's very rare that I go with just transparent moulds as well. But as I say, these ones, when I saw them, I was so excited, and I couldn't resist. So hopefully we're going to get a great effect. Sorry about that, just getting a wipe to wipe my stick, because again, if you're new to resin, you wipe your stick, you can use it again. And it's the easiest way to clean it. Just literally get a baby wipe. I know some people use big wipes as well, which actually I've seen in Aldi in the UK recently. So I might look at getting some of those, because I think it was Steve McDonald that has recommended those big wipes. So I am going to try those. But as long as you give them a wipe, you can reuse them. So that is my glitter in there. That is my resin mixed. I'm just going to put it in my bubble removal machine, which is on the side of my bench. Shouldn't take long. I think probably 3 minutes will do, to be honest with you. They tend to work on a 5-minute, a 10-minute or a 15-minute cycle. But usually after sort of 3 minutes, most of those bubbles have gone. So again, if you want one of those, there is also a discount code for that in my description. But the biggest one for this video is, if you like these molds, if you like these results that we're going to get, hopefully, then use the discount code on IntoResin's website, which is ccukresin, and it will get you 20% off. And there we go, that's had 5 minutes in the bubble removal machine. Just going to torch the top to get rid of any of those ones that have come to the surface. But as I say, that is pretty much now crystal clear resin. I like the amount of glitter, it's not too much, but you can still see there's something in there. So I'm going to start off just with this starfish mould. Should be dead straightforward, hopefully, and I'm just going to fill it to the top. Trying not to get it all over the mould, but I'm just filling it straight from the centre, and naturally I think that will just spread out until you get a slightly domed effect on the surface. There we go. And I'm just going to leave that now. That's pretty much done. Ready for demold tomorrow. And it looks like this glitter is sinking a little bit actually, so that is probably going to detract from it. But I've already mixed it now, so I'm not going to unmix it. Now this pig one's a little bit more complex because it's got these flaps on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit to getting an opening. And then I'm going to pour a bit in. And as I say, I don't know how much resin this mould's actually going to take. And then I'm just going to move it around the mould like that, squidging it around as well, just to make sure that it's going to go in that nose which I presume there's a snout, but as I say, I've never used it before, and the tail size. So I'm just moving it around. It's also encouraging any air bubbles out. And then what I'm going to do is fill it completely to the top now. And it'd be useful if I can just get one of these flaps on the surface open. That's why I'm wearing my gloves. They are very slippy though. And I'm just going to try and fill it all the way to the top. Gently does it. Again, that's nearly full, but not quite. And now I'm just going to give it a squidge again to try and really encourage any bubbles that might be trapped in there to come to the surface. Because that is the risk with these moulds. You can, even if you use a debubbling machine and things like that, have a risk of bubbles. But I can't see any, which is good. And now just trying to completely fill it up to the top. I just hope I've mixed up enough resin. Because I just guessed, well, that's full. I guessed at 4 ounces for the 2. And looking at that, I'm not far off, because that is definitely full. Now what I'm going to do is just, it's a little bit too full, is just wipe that top, get off that excess resin, and then leave that to demold. And again, it's my first time using them, so I'm just squidging them through again, just to try and encourage any bubbles out of the top. But hopefully that should still work out. And I don't know, I've not used this mould before, and I've still got a tiny bit left. So you know what that means? I'm gonna have to get one of my spare moulds. In fact, I've still got almost an ounce left. So for the 2 of those moulds, it only took 3 ounces, which is pretty impressive. And I hope, as I say, I just really hope that I get a cool effect, especially with this pig one. And just trying to take any excess off the top, just with my wipe. And then I'm gonna start with this teddy. And again, it's mainly going to be transparent, this. Just with those little bits of glitter. And then see if I can get a few of these filled. I always overfill these. I think I have a problem with overfilling moulds in general. I don't know if anybody else shares that problem. I think I'll get quite a few here. And what I found with these teddies is if you just fill the centre part and then use your stick to move it around, it's a lot easier to do it that way. And they take such a tiny amount of resin, so it makes them really difficult to fill. But I am so excited now. A, I've got that orchid that we did in the previous video that I'm demolding tomorrow. And B, I've got these IntoResin moulds. And I've been waiting for these moulds, as I say, for over 2 weeks now. And I've been really excited. Just because I've seen some of the effects that some of their moulds have had. And again, now I've got that affiliate link for you guys as well with 20% off. Please check out the website. I think the problem is with resin, a lot of us use the same basic moulds, and that's where people struggle to sell their products because they're just the same as everybody else's. The exciting thing with IntoResin's moulds is they are so unique that not many people use them. And I think they're very different from a standard mould that you might get from Temu or you might get from Amazon. And because of that, I think they'll be great sellers if you sell your work. If not, they'll just be great gifts or great products for you. God, I'm going to have so many of these little teddy bears. But I have got a project in mind for them all. And it's not jewellery, interestingly. And I think I might get 2 more out of this. But then it's pushing it. I'm going to save those little droplets that are left, just in case when I'm going through these, and obviously some of them have overfilled, I can see that. But all I do is just use my tool and go around the mould just to even it all out and make sure it's covered. Most of these are, and the ones that aren't, as I say, the great thing is I always overfill a few, so I can take from one and put into the other. Just a drop at a time. And that's why I don't mind overfilling a few. It really helps when you get to points like this. There we go, so that one's now filled, that one's okay. This one's leg. This one's big leg is missing as well. So again, just looking at the top, this one here, still a little bit overfilled. Take a drop from there, add it to there. And now that one's nicely filled. This one's missing his leg as well. What am I doing? Can have a load of legless teddy bears at this rate. And this one. And in fact, I have got a few drops left in the cup, so just going around these, making sure that they're all level and seeing which ones need that extra drop. So this one as well. Oh, I've missed quite a few legs off. Okay, so the ones that need a few extra drops, luckily I have a few extra drops. I'm just going to use my stick to get the last drops out. That one needs a drop. That one needs a drop. There we go, that's nicely filled. Nicely filled. Nicely filled. Any others that can just do with that little tiny drop? That one there. This one here. And I've gone from being underfilled to overfilled on that one. And I think they're all nicely filled. So I've got those to demold tomorrow as well now, just making sure I'm not missing any legs or any limbs. That one was slightly overfilled. So again, if ever you do that, just transfer it to another. You know, don't panic. You've got 40 minutes of working time. Use it wisely. And there we go. So, really looking forward to demolding these tomorrow. Once again, thank you IntoResin for sending me the moulds. I'm looking forward to playing with these cat's eye magnetic powders as well on another project. But I'm just looking at the surface here. I've got a tiny bubble there. And what I might do is just go around these flaps, just in case there are any bubbles, to try and encourage them out. Again, I've not used this mould before, but I'm guessing this is where they'll want to sort of build up under these flaps. But I can't see any bubbles on the top. And I've used the bubble removal machine, so that's pretty much all I can do. There's none on that starfish either. So I think we are good. So we will demold these tomorrow. Don't forget IntoResin.com 20% off with the discount code ccukresin. And I'll see you at Demold.
Morning guys, and it is time for Demold. But firstly, don't forget, IntoResin have given me a discount code, so if there is any of the molds that you've liked me to use on these, or any of the tools that you've seen me use, the powders or anything like that, have a look at the website IntoResin.com, because they've got some really unique molds and I really like them. And I've got a discount code for you which is 20% off, which is CCUK. So just going to start off with a couple of these bears, and it's not been the full 24 hours, so I'm expecting them to still be a little bit soft, but they're okay to demold. So there we go. So these are the little bears and as you can see, really cool there. Completely bubble free as well, which is great. And then there's just that tiny bit of glitter coming through. I think sometimes simplest is the best with resin. So love those. Slightly bigger bear, which is going to be probably a keyring. And the good thing is this glitter hasn't actually sank, so I'm hoping for some really cool results. So he's turned out really cool. And now the two exciting ones. So these are those crystal ones, and they're all handmade, so I'm really looking forward to this. Just seeing what we've got. So this is the starfish. And look at that. The way that glistens, it's almost like a gem with all of those crystal effects. Absolutely gorgeous. And as I say, you don't see many pieces with this sort of design. So I really do recommend these molds. Absolutely amazing. And it just gives the resin a whole new look, I think. And again, no bubbles in there, so I'm really happy, and I'm hopeful for this pig because I really want to see what he looks like. But again, those shades of pink should come through really nice in that pig. But that is the starfish. Loving that. And now for this pig. I don't know how to even demold him, so I'm guessing we just pull at the sides and pop him out. Oh, he's quite fat. And again, I'm trying not to touch the inside of that mould. There we go. So let's have a look. His feet are there. And again, a little bit of overpour there, but I can easily take that off with my deburring tool. And I think you're meant to actually overpour these moulds. And there you go. Don't even need the deburring tool. It's off. So let's have a look at this little piggy. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Got his little tail there. Got this crystal effect going through. Little snout as well. Absolutely gorgeous little mould. So there we go. Little crystal piggy. And I think I did the right thing by just using some thin glitter. Because that, again, it adds to the piece, but it doesn't take away from that gorgeous crystal effect. And as I say, these molds are absolutely amazing. There's lots of different effects on these handmade molds that they do. So have a look, IntoResin.com. Thank you for sending me these molds as well. I've really enjoyed playing with them. IntoResin.com, and the discount code to get you 20% off everything on site is CCUK. So I hope you've enjoyed the content. If you have, like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. But this little piggy is going to his new home.